Hi, Collective. My name is Marla. So this is That Word from Mars Tarot. And this week, I'm going to do something different. I do get a little bored sometimes as a reader. It may be a very much so fire sign energy, but like doing the same things like on repeat. So this week, I want to do collective readings. And my goal is to do one every day based off of what planet rules over that day. So Mondays are ruled by the moon. All right. I just saw 2-2. So that may be a significant angel number for you all, okay? So today what we're going to do is shadow work message. The shadow work message is, wow, I can't talk. Shadow work messages, what's surfacing for healing, all right? Because the moon, a lot of things, even though the moon illuminates, it also talks about like our subconscious like feelings and the things that we may not be directly, dealing with. Also, if you're watching this, whether you're watching this today is April 6th, 8:56 Eastern Standard Time. So today is also a full moon, and it's in the sign of Aries. So if you're a Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, or Aries, you may feel more, impacted at this time. So just keep that in mind too, like when you see this reading, because it's a moon day reading. So go ahead and watch my short. All right, I posted that. But let's get into this. And before we get into this, we're gonna do deep breathing. We're gonna just take 3 deep inhales and exhales, and then we're gonna go ahead and start. Also, please excuse if you hear my dog in the background and or my mother downstairs. All right. Um. So Oh, and one more thing. If you are a Taurus placement, when I do the love readings next week, I will go ahead and I think I'll post your bonus reading then, unless I decide to post a love reading for you this week because you are ruled by the planet of Venus. So you know that rules over beauty, love, aesthetics, all that sort of stuff. So you all might get your bonus reading this week. You might get it next week, but just know you're getting one. Thank you for the views. Like I said, like while I'm still building up subscribers, like anytime we're getting like 100+ views, especially while I'm under 100 subscribers, like y'all are gonna definitely get a bonus, reading because I appreciate y'all. All right. So let me know in the comments down below how this resonates. All right. Please like the video, subscribe. Also just saw 222. So that is definitely a significant angel number for you. I do have one card with the number 2 on it here. So let's go ahead and take our deep breaths. All right. Let's go ahead and do that together. Inhaling. Holding that at the top. And exhaling. Feel free to do some movement if you want to. My neck feels a little stiff. All right, inhaling. And exhaling. We're going to do one more. I'm also a little stiff, y'all, because I'm deciding to unbig my back and move my body in different ways other than walking. And I feel that. And I had a massage last week that, I don't know, I feel like I need another one to hit certain spots. All right, last deep breath. All right. I wanted to do some deep breathing because I feel like when we're talking about shadow work, it can get a little bit intense. And I also have this new deck. I'll be using a new deck for y'all tonight. That said, it's called Healing the Inner Child Oracle by Nina Mongendre. I'm definitely probably butchering her last name. Sorry, girl. But the Healing the Inner Child cards get deep. The quote that's on the inside of the box says, "No matter what your childhood was like, it is never too late to heal." All right. And then for the shadow work deck that I'm using, I feel like I got this from Etsy some years ago. But it says, "May this oracle deck awaken you to greater authenticity by working through any hidden shadows of your personality." And then there's a quote by Carl Jung: "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people." So keep in mind, we all got our shit. So be kind, all right? We all have our things. All right. So the overall energy of this spread, collective, is third eye chakra. Third eye chakra. So some of you may really struggle with being in touch with your more intuitive side. Like you're here, you're seeking tarot and all of that, but sometimes you may have struggled with like a belief or like really believing in your intuition. You may not have troubles with believing in spirituality and all the things as a whole, but you may not believe in like the things that you see sometimes. Some of you all may have visions, dreams, whatever the case may be, okay? Because the mantra that goes with this card is I see. So pay attention to your dreams, start writing them down. Even if you're daydreaming, whatever the case may be, like write the things down because it's more important for you to pay attention what you're seeing with your third eye than these two. Sometimes your eyes will deceive you, all right? But your third eye, that thing always going to tell you what's thangin', okay? So the signs that I see here are Leo, Gemini, and Capricorn. Leo, Gemini, and Capricorn. So some of you in the collective, some of us in the collective, all right, maybe are sorting through power struggles, all right? This could especially show up in your relationships or in decision making. We have power here in traditional tarot. This is known as the strength card. And we have harmony here in traditional tarot. This is known as the Lovers, sign of Gemini. So some of you could be in a relationship and one be a Gemini and one be a Leo. But not only is the harmony card about a lover, a soulmate, it's about making decisions. So some of you can struggle with believing in your decision making, trusting yourself. All right. Some of you, it could be opposite. All right. Like your ego, with the line here, your ego may be inflated. And so some of you may like try to dominate your partners and other people that you're in relationship with. And it's unnecessary and it's doing you a disservice. Okay. Some of you could have a deflated ego. You let me, where it resonates, right? So when you're kind of allowing people to run over you and not believing in your power and not thinking that you're strong enough or not believing that you're capable of making decisions. Okay. Some of you could also have a really strong connection like with a lover, and maybe your addictions get in the way of that as well. So I'm just telling you everything that I see and feel that's here, okay? We have the temptation card here. All right, temptation. So in traditional tarot, this is known as the devil, sign of Capricorn. The devil's card represents really our weaknesses, if you will, all right? So some of us in the collective, some of you in the collective may struggle with addiction, whether that's sex as like an unhealthy coping mechanism, all right? Drugs of any kind, liquor, wine, weed, cocaine, LSD, fentanyl, whatever your drug of choice is. People, love, okay, because quiet as it's kept, love is a drug too. Codependency, gambling, you name it. You're going to know what tempts you. Your relationship with food, you can have an unhealthy relationship with food, whether you binge or you purge, all right? Um, and I'm also just naming different things because again, this is what's surfacing for healing. So if you struggle with decision making, that is something to, seek healing for. If you struggle with your ego, that's something to seek healing for. If you struggle with your romantic relationships, that's something to seek healing for. If you struggle with addictions of any kind, that's something to seek healing for. All right. There's definitely something here when it comes to decision making. I will say that because this movement, choices, and decisions card is next to this harmony card. So some of you have to decide whether you're going to choose to, stay within your comfort zone or try some new shit. All right. Some of y'all could be having some changes happen in your finances as well that may impact you. And then you may have to make a decision from there. I do see that there's some sort of emotional loss here, and this is next to the temptation card. All right. This emotional loss is something that hits very deep. It's definitely like grief, for whatever reason. It could also be like crying over spilled milk sometimes, but whatever it is, it really does hurt your heart space. All right. It really does hurt your heart space for sure. Some of you, may feel the loss when it comes to your addiction. Quiet as it's kept, something that could be not good for you, you could still feel that loss emotionally, especially if it was a person. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have passion ignited. So I feel like as you work through your, addictions or these shadow related things, okay, your passions will start anew. You'll have maybe like a zest for life that you didn't have, before, because that zest was going towards those addictions that you had, all right, or have. Um, let's just keep on going through these. So I only wanted 3, but 6 came out. It is a collective, so that just gives you all a little bit more information. So heavy on the addictions in this reading, all right? Like if you're needing help with addiction, I am also a mental health therapist. Like please seek mental health help, and especially if it's like drugs and you can go to a facility and do all that, do it. Do it, okay? Some of you also, this just came in. If you choose not to work through your temptations, you're going to have some sort of emotional loss. All right? And for some of you that can be a soulmate, whether that's a romantic or platonic soulmate. But there is some sort of emotional loss that will come about if you don't get your shit together. Love you, but hey. So, we have addictions here. Think about the emotions you are trying to cover up. Deal with those emotions, process, heal, and release them. So whatever your addiction is, a mental health therapist would be good. All right. You can find one that maybe specializes in whatever area you have, or just someone who has worked with people who are addicts or who wants to work with people who are addicts or have an addictive spirit if you don't want to, claim that. So another part of your shadow that could be you may need to work on, all right, depending on who you are. Vengeful. Find a better way to heal your anger. This negative emotion comes back full circle. So if you are religious, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. All right. If you're not, think about karma. Think about the justice card. All right. The justice card upright is just letting things be handled by God, source, spirit, universe. All right. Your ancestors. And it's just like, I'm sitting here smiling because I know, I'm just sitting here because guess what? I know that justice is going to come. It may not come when I want it to come, but it's going to come. Vengeance is taking things into your own hands and, inflicting pain, or you're doing something towards a person. Even if you're not the one doing it, you hire somebody, whatever, release that. The vengeful spirit, it's got to go. Jealousy. Your past wounds need healing. Work on your self-love. You are far greater than you know. So there is, some self-love work that's needed here in relation to jealousy, because if you feel like you have everything that you need, and if you're loving yourself and where you're at, like that jealousy is not really going to happen and take place. I do also want to say that jealousy is a normal emotion, but when you drag your nuts, that's when you take it too left. So if you're, plotting against somebody, if you're having secret animosity, all of those sorts of things, it's like, all right, hold on, let me check myself. What can I be grateful for that's happening in my life? Or if I want something like someone else, I used to tell one of my friends back in the day, I was like, we cannot be jealous of the fitness girlies or the girlies who have A1 bods when they're doing what they need to do to have those A1 bods. Like they're in the gym, they're eating right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what's the point in being jealous? Either find a program that works for you, because not everybody's, workout regimens, not the same workout regimen works for everybody. Not the same eating routine works for everybody. All right. So it's just like there's no need to be jealous if you're not following your program to get to where you would like to be. All right. We have resisting change, which I could see that here with this power card. All right. Leos tend to be very stubborn and they're fixed, so they don't like change. Okay. So even if you're not a Leo, you can embody that energy. Resisting change. Ask yourself, why are you not wanting to change? Look at the positive side to the changes. So anytime we're changing, we're usually growing. All right. Now, if you're changing because you're being a follower or something of the sort, that's not it. You know, but if you know that there's an area that you need to improve in and you're choosing not to, all right. Emotionally detached. Are you protecting yourself from unwanted drama or stress? Feel positive emotions within yourself. To feel emotions is to live freely. So, you know, if you are a person who's emotionally detached, you realize that by detaching yourself, I used to tell a client this, like, yes, we may not want to feel pain. Get that, understandable. But do you realize by pushing away painful experiences, you're pushing away joyful ones as well? Because it's like with life comes pain. Just saw 4-4 on my timer. With life comes pain. All right. So you got to feel. All right. 1555, 555. All right. You have to feel joy and pain in life. Excuse me. So lean in instead of detaching yourself. All right. Unworthy. Think deeply and ask yourself, why are you not worthy of the situation at hand? All right. So again, some of the issue here could be codependency, people pleasing. All right. So, you know, doing things for the sake of being loved. Like if I do this, then I'm worthy of love. And it's like, no, you're worthy of love because you are who you are, Pooh. All right. So, and I know it's tough. And again, these things usually stem from childhood. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pull the last cards, which are going to be a little bit more heavy. All right. Since they're the inner child cards, I only wanted 3. And 4 did come out. And they're quite a bit to read. So just intuitively from this first one, it says persona. And so what I feel here is that like you mask. All right. It just goes back to that people pleasing and maybe feeling unworthy. Or like I'm only lovable if I put on a certain facade. So it's time to take that mask off, but let me go ahead and pull the booklet out and read it to you. 19. All right. Invitation. As children become young adults, they develop a keen awareness of what is acceptable, appropriate, and appreciated by the outside world. We start wearing masks depending on whom we are interacting with and what the intended outcome is. We might wear the mask of the pleaser, the rebel, or the nice girl. The journey of reparenting ourselves involves experiencing authenticity in each interaction we have. In tribal societies, masks were used to call in the ancestors and the spirits to allow the wearer more freedom to channel messages from below the surface of consciousness. Your persona is the aspect of yourself you are comfortable presenting to others. This card invites you to bring awareness to how and when you use these personas and see how you may use a persona to hide an aspect of yourself and conceal your true nature. The inner child part of this card. The persona is formed between the ages of 6 and 12 as children begin to interact with the world as individuals. Ask your inner child if they felt the need to play a part growing up to please mom or dad, or if they caused trouble in order to get their caregiver's attention. When do you remember noticing that this role playing didn't feel authentic? Are you still role playing in some areas of your life today? Affirm to your inner child, I love you exactly as you are. You do not have to hide to be loved. I'm going to read that again. I love you exactly as you are. You do not have to hide to be loved. And I remember I just said something similar with the unworthy card. The journey for this card, it kind of gives you like things that you can do and questions to think about. Look at this image. Look at this image and allow yourself to be drawn into various highlights from your life, from birth until now. What do you notice as you see yourself wearing different masks during these moments in your life? What stands out? What lies beyond the veil of the visible? Notice the roles you have played so far. Which ones feel authentic and energizing, and which ones feel depleting? Are you saying yes when you mean no, or hiding aspects of yourself you worry will bring judgment? Take a few deep breaths with the intention to connect with the part of you that does not change no matter what roles you play and what mask you wear. Is it safe to let that part be experienced in this moment and allow it to be seen? Okay. Second card, protection, number 12. Oh, I'm tripping. That says 42. LOL, I don't got my eyes on. And I can see up close. That's crazy about me. 42. Protection. Invitation. In cultures that do not ascribe to the belief that we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, the message given to the youth is that they are stewards of this bountiful earth. We do not have to stand orphaned because our human parents have failed us. Nature is within us and all around us, providing and nourishing us always. Looking back at your life so far, can you see how the challenging moments have given you more compassion? Our wounds make us human. Of course, none of us like to be in pain, and our nature as humans is to avoid suffering. Understandably, we often feel anger and grief when we recall or encounter challenging moments. We invite you to recognize these moments, to give them a place, and allow them to be integrated as a part of who you are today. Engaging with the wound and seeing it transform into an ally will take you on the journey of healing faster than anything else. The wound is the piece of the coal that surrounds the diamond of our essence. The wound is neither good nor bad. It is your teacher, your friend, and it leads you straight to the realization of the perfection of all that is. What if we are always held in the lap of a loving universe? This card invites us to reclaim the right to be held and urges us to lean back into the unfailing support of each moment. The next part is inner child. Your inner child never left the magic and wonder of childhood. Even while traversing pain and trauma, children have access to the soul realm, the mythical and imaginary world. What brought you wonder as a child? Did you have imaginary friends? Could you dialogue with the birds or the trees? Close your eyes and reconnect with this wondrous world that still lives within you. All it takes is a desire to open our eyes to the magic all around. Say out loud to your inner child, "It brings me joy to see the world through your eyes." All right. The journey for this card. Sit in a seat that offers support for your spine and lean back. Imagine yourself as one of the children in this image, held by the loving hands of the universe, basking in warmth, safety, and comfort. Allow time for your body to experience the sensations that arise as you feel gravity holding you. Imagine roots extending out from the soles of your feet and the back of your body into the earth, down beneath the floor, through the foundation of the building, into the soil, and deeper until they reach the core of our planet. With each inhale, draw in nourishment through these roots. Receive vitality, support, trust, and anything else you need as you breathe in. With each exhale, release tension, stress, and fear through the roots and into the earth. Continue for as long as you'd like. All right. So that was what? Persona and protection. We have two more. So the next one is story. 38. Story. Which I already feel like, that's going to talk about like the story you're telling, yourself, or that you've been told and you've been holding on to. And so again, remember that this is what's surfacing for healing. So you may be up for rewriting your story, collective. So story, the invitation here. Our story helps us locate ourselves in time and space. Each one of us is born into a story that has been told for many generations. Before we write our own story, we must first be aware of the story in which we are a protagonist. Once we have awareness of our role and of our power to step out of it, we can become the author of our own life story. Without awareness, we often repeat the same narratives we strive to escape. Storytelling helps us understand the world and our lives. We heal by releasing an old story or belief and replacing it with a new one. When we write a new story, we change the lens through which we see the world, and this changes how we speak, how we move, and how we relate to ourselves and others. This card invites you to become a storyteller and change the narrative. As you reparent yourself, you write a whole new story, one in which you are whole, you belong, and are loved for who you are, no matter what. Inner child, all right? Remember your favorite stories as a child and why you love them? What do you notice about these stories now? Revisit one of these stories and share it with your younger self. Tell your inner child out loud, "My little one, we write this story now. Mom and dad had their turn. Now it's our turn." The journey for this card. What familial stories held you captive? Were you told you are the smart one? I definitely was. Or like that was the expectation because I was smart. I am smart. You never / always did this, or you are just like your mother / father. Some of these narratives are toxic, and it is important to deconstruct them. In your journal, draw a line vertically across the page, write the old story on the left and the new perspective on the right. For example, if you had a challenging relationship with your mother and didn't feel seen or supported by her, the left column would read, Mom wasn't there for me, and the new story could read, My mother did the best she could. Ooh, that's so hard because I have a mother wound, so I get it. Um, Allow the writing to flow without overthinking and don't edit yourself. Note that we are not bright siding any suffering. Rather, we are allowing various angles and perspectives to emerge so that you may choose the narrative you want to carry with you. This reminds me in this I was reading this book about narcissism, and it was like uh saying like you need to like again like change your story and tell yourself like both sides. It's like I love my mother, just all 2555. I love my mother. Um my mother is harmful towards me. It was like shit. It's like those two things really can exist at once, especially because most kids, you are conditioned to love your parents. All right. Um, Allow the writing to flow without overthinking and don't edit yourself. Oh, no, I already read that. But note that we are not bright siding any suffering. Rather, we are allowing various angles and perspectives to emerge so that you may choose the narrative you want to carry with you. It takes time for these new perspectives to anchor themselves, so be patient and loving with yourself. It is helpful to spend time fleshing out the details of the new stories by engaging your senses and your imagination. If your mother did the best she could, what does that change in your perception of yourself and of her? What becomes possible? When you take responsibility for your story, you access greater well being and freedom. As Eileen McCusick writes, when we change our tune about ourselves and our lives, our bodies also change. We are looking to embrace narratives in which we accept the past for what it was so that we might free ourselves from carrying its burdens. So, what I'm hearing there is like some of you all are carrying the burdens, and carrying certain narratives. There's also something called a loving kindness meditation that you can do where you say, May I be well, may I be well, may I be well. And then the next person you wish well is like somebody that you don't like or somebody that harmed you. So for you, if it is your mother, may my mother be well, may my mother be well, may my mother be well. And then you wish someone well who you don't know at all. So it's like if you went on a walk or you pumped gas or, whatever, you're at the store, may that cashier be well, may the cashier be well, may the cashier be well. And you'll be surprised like at what healing starts to take place. The last one is awe, 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 and it's number 1. Okay. Awe is the feeling of being in the presence of beauty and vastness. We might experience awe when gazing up at the night sky or while looking at art. In these moments, we connect with wonder and timelessness. Awe can arise during special moments of our lives, such as the birth of a child, but also in our everyday lives as we watch the first spring blossoms emerge. Research shows that the daily bursts of awe predict greater well-being and curiosity weeks later. Not only does awe increase well-being, the research also uncovered the benefits of awe for clear thinking, good health, and close relationships. Experiencing awe makes us more inclined to help someone in need. Studies have highlighted the link between awe and altruism. Being in the presence of vastness enables greater kindness towards others. This card invites you to recognize the beauty and vastness in yourself and in the world, to give awe a place and allow this emotion to become a part of your daily life. Awe is a doorway to transformation, the inner child part of this card. Look at this card and check in with your inner child. Was there a time when the suffering in your life was so great that you disconnected from awe? How old were you? What was going on, and what did you need at that time? Revisit that memory and offer your younger self the support you wish you had received. Allow your adult self to step into that moment as a loving presence and source of support. This is the power of reparenting the little you. Your inner child might need support, information, and comfort around what happened in the past, and you are able to offer that now. Your adult self can journey through time and space to your younger self, changing the present and the future as you heal their wounds and reclaim your connection with all. Say out loud to your inner child, you are awesome. They broke the word up. All right. The journey for this card. The ultimate wound as we journey through this lifetime is loss of connection with the sublime, with the miraculous nature of our existence. When we experience awe, wonder, and joy, we access the blissful and unconditionally loving part of us. The essence has always been there, waiting for you to experience it, ever calm, confident, curious, and compassionate. Recall a moment when you felt awe. This could be a memory from childhood or a recent experience. Sit with your eyes closed, focusing your awareness on your breath, allowing the sensations of awe to wash over you. What does awe feel like in your body? Notice its quality and allow it to expand. You might want to journal about your experience, and every time you encounter awe, stay with it for a few breaths, over time deepening your relationship with this emotion for greater connection and well-being. All right, just saw 30/30. So this was already a long reading. I'm not going to wrap any further, but please let me know if you like this type of reading by liking it, letting me know in the comments. And you can also let me know how it resonates in the comments down below. Um, I love y'all. I know it was heavy, do maybe watch something a little lighter after this when you see this. All right. But I love y'all. And that's what's surfacing for healing. Bye.